As you may know, I'm a nutritional therapy practitioner who works with people with mental health issues to help improve their brain's functioning through nutritional interventions. I've been doing this for a number of years, worked with many people of all different ages, from young kids to seniors, people who have suffered from a wide range of types of mental health issues. Nutritional therapy is extremely effective at helping to improve the brain's ability to function well and to heal from the symptoms of brain metabolic dysfunction. And those symptoms can be anything from anxiety to depression to panic attacks to ADHD to impulse control issues to emotional control issues. It runs the gamut. And the vast majority of the people for most types of mental health conditions do extremely well in a very short period of time when simply they clean up their diet. When they start eating nutrient-rich foods that contain all the nutrients that the brain needs to function well, and when they stop consuming foods that cause gut dysbiosis and intestinal permeability, which drive up levels of inflammation in our body. One interesting example that kind of demonstrates the power of nutrition on our mental health and our brain functioning is a current client of mine. I've worked with him for the past month and a half. He's a college student, attends a very good university. And he had been suffering from anxiety for the past 6 or 7 years, depression for the past 2 years. He isn't sure what caused his anxiety and his depression symptoms to start. He also had a difficult time focusing, paying attention, and so forth. And during the last year, so the first semester of 2022, he started to develop symptoms of schizophrenia. So he started hearing voices, and he became paranoid. He thought people were tracking him, or were following him, were listening into his conversations. And the symptoms got so bad that he had to drop out of, or temporarily drop out of university. A number of months ago, and he spent a few weeks in a psychiatric hospital where they gave him a number of different types of medications, stabilized him, and finally released him. And he then stopped taking the medications when he was released from the hospital. But he was still hearing the voices, and he was still feeling paranoid, and still had anxiety and depression issues. So I like I said, I started working with him about a month and a half ago, and started him on a very low carbohydrate ketogenic diet. So basically meat, eggs, and a little bit of vegetables here and there. I also had him start doing neurofeedback training. Within a few weeks, he reported that he was hearing the voices, the schizophrenic voices, much less frequently and much less severely. And he wasn't feeling paranoid anymore. His anxiety levels were improving. His cognitive functioning issues were improving, and he was doing really well. And again, this is after only a few weeks of cleaning up his diet, and he wasn't on a horrible diet beforehand. So relatively speaking, compared to a lot of my other clients, he was eating fairly well, but he was still consuming foods which again cause gut dysbiosis, intestinal permeability, which lead to neuroinflammation, which lead to metabolic dysfunction in the brain, which lead to various mental health, psychiatric, neurological symptoms, and so forth. So he was getting better, and from that point on, which was a number of weeks ago, each time I'd see him, he'd report that he was feeling better and doing better. And for a couple of weeks, he was reporting that he wasn't hearing the voices anymore. And that he realized that his paranoia, that his thinking that people were following him, that were out to get him and so forth, that he realized that that wasn't real and that was just part of his anxiety. He was doing very, very well. And this, I believe, Monday or Tuesday of this week, I met with him. He came in and I asked how he was doing. And he said, well, the voices kind of came back and his anxiety levels were, and depression were elevated again. And he wasn't sure why. And so I asked him, okay, well, did you eat anything differently? And he says, oh yeah, come to think of it, over the weekend, he was out with his family at a restaurant eating dinner, and someone ordered a piece of cake, and he decided to have a bite of the cake. And later on that evening was when he started hearing the voices again, when his anxiety levels increased, and the following day it was pretty bad as well. By the time he came in to see me, which was a few days later, the voices were better. The symptoms had improved. He was still hearing them slightly though. And so I told him that, it'll probably take a few days for his symptoms to subside once his body cleans itself out from all the inflammation from the bite of cake that he ate. And since then, he's come in again, and yeah, he reported that things are back to normal, that he's feeling great, not hearing the voices, not feeling paranoid, not feeling anxious or depressed, able to focus, and he's feeling good. He's currently in the process of reapplying to his university. He's planning on reattending starting in fall semester. So I'm very pleased with the progress he's made. And this just goes to show you again the power of and the impact that nutrition has on our brain functioning, both in a negative way and in a positive way. So if we're not eating properly, that can cause significant brain functioning issues, psychiatric, neurological issues. And but the nice thing is that when we do start nourishing and fueling the brain properly, and we stop inflaming and poisoning it, the brain has a very, very remarkable capability to heal and return to optimal functioning in a pretty short period of time. As I mentioned, with most of my clients will start to notice a significant improvement in how they're feeling and functioning after only a few weeks. So only a few weeks after they start and they've cleaned up their diet, they're already noticing improvements in how they're feeling and functioning. I have many stories and instances like this of clients in really bad situations, really not functioning well at all. And even those very severe cases, these people do very, very well and heal amazingly and make incredible progress in a pretty short period of time. So anyone with a mental health, a psychiatric, a neurological issue or problem, or who's having trouble sleeping, dealing with insomnia or migraines, the first thing that I would recommend doing is looking at your diet, looking at what you're eating, and trying to make dietary improvements. This is going to, most likely, this is going to have a huge impact at helping improve how you're feeling and functioning, improving your mental health and your brain's ability to function well. I hope you found this video to be helpful. If you did, go ahead and click the thumbs up. If you know somebody who can benefit from seeing this, please feel free to share this video with them. And go ahead and click the subscribe button to be notified about upcoming videos that I put out. Thank you.